everyone, I'm Kevin, otherwise known as Forum BX257, here bringing you another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. And today I'll be taking a look at the 1987 Sergeant Slaughter's Renegades 3-pack, featuring Mercer, Red Dog, and Taurus. Now, these characters never appear in the old Marvel comic run at all, which is rather unfortunate because they come off as basically the G.I. Joe equivalent to the Dreadnoks. And I think they would have been very much at home in the G.I. Joe Special Missions spin-off comic. Mercer, whose name I don't quite understand. I think they were trying to go for maybe a catchy way of saying mercenary, but Mercer really just means a purveyor of textiles. He actually does make the leap into cartoon form beyond the 1987 animated movie where they all make their debut. In 1991, Mercer was the only one to actually have a second version during the initial vintage run, and he was included in the 1991 Deke animation series. Red Dog. Red Dog is actually a footballing term, if you didn't know, red dogging, which is an aggressive play on another player. And Taurus, well, Taurus is Latin for bull, so that gives you kind of an idea of what they're all about.
Taking a look at Mercer first. Mercer, as you can see, has brown hair, whereas the card art has him as blonde. In the animated movie, he had brown hair as well. And speaking of the animation model, that character had a Cobra symbol just sort of crossed out because Mercer was an ex-Viper. I kind of wish that they had done that with the figure. As a matter of fact, there are certain cues which make him look a bit like a Viper. He has a very similar pouch set up on his belt, as well as this sort of puffy thing down along the side of his pants, but unfortunately there aren't any other cues. It's rather unfortunate. I would kind of wish they did. Taking a look at his accessories, Mercer comes with a .45 caliber pistol with silencer. As you can see, this has a very Colt-like bearing to its frame, but it's really, really long. As a matter of fact, I really want to think that this is probably an LAR Grizzly. And while the card's contents list this as a .45 caliber, there's nothing to say that that's .45 ACP, which is the bullet used in most Colt 1911 derivatives. Whereas the LAR Grizzly uses a .45 Winchester Magnum bullet, which is a much larger bullet, almost basically a rifle bullet kind of chopped down to fit inside of a pistol. I think that would be very appropriate for something a mercenary like Mercer would carry. He also has a backpack. Unlike the pistol, which is a brand new sculpt, the backpack is not. It is actually a remolding of the 1985 Footloose's backpack, just done in black plastic, obviously. Next, I'll take a look at Red Dog. Now, Red Dog was an ex-football star, so he still has some of the sort of sports jersey and like the red stripe down his sport pants. But he also has a lot of gold jewelry all over him, and that's basically the tribal jewelry of a Samoan warrior, which is also part of his background. Unfortunately, well, the gold paint is, well, Hasbro's famous gold paint, which rubs off very easily. So if you're looking for a mint figure, you will have to be very careful to see if any of the stuff has rubbed off. Red Dog comes with a .45 caliber pistol. I'm not sure if this is actually based on any existing pistol design. It's rather unique with its almost bell-shaped frame. It almost looks like a Desert Eagle or something like that, but the frame design suggests otherwise. Again, this was a unique pistol for Red Dog, but his backpack was a reissue and recolor of an existing backpack, the 1985 Dusty's backpack. And lastly, we have the Turkish-born Taurus, who comes with a pistol with stock. At least that's what the contents list on the card says. I'd rather think that this looks a bit like a stylized, maybe like a Gaunch high-tech. Especially with this sort of wood-grained buttstock on what is otherwise a high-tech looking pistol. Again, that's a very Gaunch type of thing to do. This was, like all the other figures, a unique pistol, but he came with a backpack which was a reissue and recoloring of an existing backpack, and that was the 1984 Recondo backpack. I have a funny confession to make. Back when I was collecting in the very early 90s, my local Kmart actually still had a few Sergeant Slaughter Renegades 3-packs on the shelves. Sure, they were really beat up and probably part of some type of overstock, but they were still peg warmers. And unfortunately, I can sort of see why. Their sculpts, well, I mean, they're not supposed to be military in any way. They're supposed to be mercenaries and therefore can have a very eclectic or odd look to them. But they really don't bring anything to the table. They're just not visually spectacular. It's rather unfortunate because in the movie they had little American flag emblems on them, and I think that would have helped. Again, Mercer had that Cobra symbol with the cross out. That would have really helped visually speaking. Again, you have the sort of a sameness to the color scheme of Red Dog and Mercer with their orange, blue, and black. So again, it doesn't do anything visually, particularly to someone who might not have seen the movie or might not have liked the movie. There's really nothing else to sort of bring you into these characters just on visual appeal alone. On top of that, their accessories are basically small arms and reused backpacks. Again, that's just not, it's not a very good way of trying to entice a buyer. To me, with the small arms, they make great spies, or in anybody's fan-made universe, they make great wild cards. Well, that's all the time I have right now. Thank you for watching my video, and stay tuned for next week to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then!